Did you get a bill from the IRS saying you owe a penalty? Stop right there. Before you reach for your wallet, there's a good chance you can get those penalties removed or even refunded if you've already paid them. In this video, I'll walk you through the key strategies and rules to help you pay nothing on those IRS penalties. So let's dive right into it. First, let's understand what kinds of penalties the IRS typically imposes. If you or your business files tax returns late, doesn't pay taxes on time, or misses employment tax deposits, the IRS charges penalties. These penalties can add up quickly and become a hefty bill if you're not careful. For individuals and C corporations, it's 5% of the total tax owed for each month the return is late, up to a maximum of 25%. But if the failure is considered fraudulent, it shoots up to 15% per month with a 75% maximum. For partnerships and S corporations, it's $245 per partner or shareholder per month, capped at 12 months. Plus, if your return is over 60 days late, there's a minimum penalty of the lesser of $510 or 100% of the tax owed. So you can see the IRS doesn't mess around with penalties. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you have a good tax compliance history, and this is your first penalty in the last 3 years, you may qualify for something called First-Time Abate. What does that mean? It's basically a free pass for first-timers or those who haven't had penalties in the last 3 years. When you call the IRS, make sure to ask specifically for a First-Time Abate. These are the magic words that can get your penalty waived, and it works for failure to file, failure to pay, and failure to deposit penalties. It's your first line of defense and often the quickest way to get relief. What if you don't qualify for First-Time Abate? Don't worry, there's another option called reasonable cause. This strategy works if you have a valid reason for missing your filing or payment deadlines. Here are some examples. 1. Serious illness or death of yourself or an immediate family member. 2. Natural disasters or other major disruptions. 3. Inability to obtain records despite your best efforts. When using this strategy, be specific and detailed. For instance, if illness prevented you from filing on time, explain how it impacted your ability to meet the deadline and provide supporting documents. Avoid vague excuses like "I forgot" or "I didn't know the law." The IRS will likely reject those claims. If you're part of a small partnership with 10 or fewer partners, there's a little-known loophole just for you. It's called partnership relief. As long as all partners reported their shares on their personal returns on time, you can ask for relief under Revenue Procedure 84 to 35. Make sure to mention this specific procedure when you call the IRS. Missed your employment tax deposit deadlines? This can be tricky, but there's a tiered penalty system here too. 1. 2% if it's within 5 days. 2. 5% if it's between 5 and 15 days. 3. And 10% if it's more than 15 days late. It might seem small, but these penalties can snowball if you're not careful. The same strategies, First-Time Abate and reasonable cause, can also work for these penalties. Already paid your penalties? No problem. You can still request a refund using Form 843. Just make sure to file it within 3 years from when you filed the return or 2 years from when you paid the penalty, whichever is later. This can help you recover penalties you shouldn't have paid in the first place. So let's recap. 1. First-Time Abate is your go-to option if you've been penalty-free for the last 3 years. 2. Reasonable cause works if you have a valid reason, like illness or natural disaster. 3. Small partnerships can use partnership relief under Revenue Procedure 84 to 35. 4. Even if you've already paid, you can still get a refund with the right paperwork. Knowing how to navigate IRS penalties is crucial. A simple phone call and using the right words can potentially save you thousands of dollars.